Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome to a brand new Fallout 76 video. So we have got a whole bunch of stuff going on at the moment, which is really cool. We've got a bunch of in-game events happening over the next week or so. And we also have the mid-season update landing today. The servers are currently down for that one, so quite a bit to get through here, so let's dive into it. So we'll start looking at the events first and foremost, and top of the list, kicking off today, October 22nd, running through till the 5th of November, we have the Spooky Scorched and Trick or Treat events. So these are the standard Halloween events that run around about this time every year. You can hunt down a holiday Spooky Scorched rather, for a number of Halloween-themed rewards, and of course a ton of legendaries that you can farm them for. And you can go around to other people's camps and trick or treat and get rewards through the season's challenge system that's already in the game. So that will be running, as I say, through till November 5th, and should be good fun. It's a good opportunity to gather up some pre-war food as well if you need to top your supply of that off, so useful for future challenges and stuff. Kicking off tomorrow is an absolute stack of stuff, so plenty to look at here. First up, Fallout Day broadcast. So Bethesda are running a stream tomorrow. That's going to kick off at 8 PM UK time. So that will be about 3 PM, I think, Eastern time. And that will basically cover the developers talking about what we can expect to see coming to Fallout 76 in the next couple of updates. So that should be interesting. I'll definitely be diving into that and having a look and, well, bringing you all the hot details as and when that is over and done with. And speaking of when it's over and done with, stick around afterwards, because immediately afterwards, Fallout for Hope, tied in with the Chad Fallout 76 podcast team, are running a charity live stream to raise money for St. Jude's, as they often do through the whole Fallout for Hope thing. That will be kicking off on, I think, on Bethesda's channels as well, but on Twitch immediately following the Fallout Day broadcast. So, yeah, tons of stuff happening there. Coinciding with all this, as this is, after all, 23rd of October, and the day the bombs drop in the Fallout canon, they also have a bunch of Twitch drops going on. So if you watch Fallout 76 on Twitch anywhere, and you have your Twitch account connected to your Bethesda account, and so on and so forth, all the usual stuff on that front, then you'll be able to claim Twitch drops as you watch people's streams. There'll be in-game items that you'll get for free. From the look of it, it's going to be some Halloween-themed lanterns, which are always good fun. They should fit nicely in your camps. But doubtless, if you have a look at Bethesda's website, they will have a more detailed post on that tomorrow when the Twitch drops actually go live. At least I would expect they will. So the other thing that's happening at the moment, from the 23rd through to the 27th, which I quickly double-check, is, yes, until Sunday, we have double XP. So it's a good opportunity to level up your character, and of course to grab a whole bunch of extra score if you want to do that as well, if you're still working your way through the scoreboard. Which I know I am. So yeah, always good fun, those events. People tend to enjoy the double XP opportunity. So yeah, that one kicks off tomorrow, presumably at the usual changeover time, so about 5 PM UK time and about midday Eastern. And that will roll on from there for the rest of the week, which is cool. So, let's have a look at the updates, shall we? Because there's some cool details in here. Okay, we'll jump over to Bethesda's website and have a look at the patch notes. So, usual mid-season update, but halfway through Season 18, as per. This one is, as usual, interesting, quite small-ish on PC, or on Steam anyway, 2.5 gig, going all the way up to 19.8 on Xbox. I really don't understand how this works. Weird compression things, I can only assume, because it's the same update either way. But we have a whole bunch of interesting bits and pieces here. A few fixes for armor, which is always nice. Secret Service armor will scrap properly. And some issues surrounding torso and jetpack skins causing problems with power armor. That should be fixed now, as well as the power armor HUD. The Best Builds system is getting a little update. The submission window has been updated to include an icon for the featured photo, so presumably making that a bit more obvious. I don't know. But a UI tweak anyway. Got a bunch of camp stuff here as well. Some fixed items that are currently busted. Some stuff that we couldn't craft that should be craftable as well. A couple of things that had a tendency to float being fixed as well. A few little visual bits and pieces and a few bugs here and there that are being adjusted. There's nothing earth-shattering, but if you want to have a little scan through there, some decent bits and pieces. We've got a bunch of changes for caravans here, which is interesting. Most of this is bug fixing, and there's definitely a call for it. There's some weird duplication on the patch notes here, but it is what it is. And a little bit of a rebalance, so hopefully running caravans with other people should be a little bit more rewarding. So they fixed a number of areas where the Brahmin could become stuck, preventing progress. So I think that's a rather minor issue. I've not seen the Brahmin get stuck. I've seen other issues, for sure, but not that one. Still, definitely good how it fixed. It fixed an issue where hurrying the Brahmin could cause all active Brahmin to hurry, including in other people's events if multiples are running at once. So yeah, that would be weird. They fixed an issue where extra Yaowai would spawn after the defeat Yaowai objective, as if a bunch of angry Yaowai weren't bad enough, they were dumping a whole load of unexpected ones on you, so nice to see that fixed. They fixed an issue that would allow players to get supplies from another player's caravan, so this is something I know people were taking advantage of to burn through the content, in that you could have, if you had your own caravan running at the same time as you join somebody else's caravan, then you could get full rewards from both. That will no longer be possible to do. It will just be a case of get full rewards from your own, get the smaller number from other people's, which is about what we'd expect. I'm not terribly surprised to see that bug fixed, although I imagine it will make a few people a little unhappy. Join caravans will now appear in the events tab of the Pip-Boy, so that's just a little management thing to make life a little easier. And completing caravans will now properly count towards complete event while in group challenges, so yeah, that's just adding to that little list of things. And this is where it gets interesting. Supply payout for helping caravans has been increased. So for small caravans, you'll now get 4 supplies, 3 script, plus stimpaks and ammo, which is an increase. Medium will be 12 supplies, 4 script, stimpaks and ammo. And a large caravan will drop you 20 supplies, 5 script, stimpaks and contextual ammo. So yeah, that's kind of aligns with the difficulty and makes it, if not entirely valuable, considerably more valuable than it was. A lot more valuable in some cases. And failing a caravan will still grant you 3 supplies instead of just the 1 now, so across the board, that's a little increase. Yeah, I think this is a step in the right direction. There's still some issues that are not being fixed by this update, but definitely need working on, but I guess that's a work in progress. I'm sure we'll see some more updates come December, which will be the next patch. So here we have a whole load of combat changes and balancing tweaks, most of which are not massively exciting and probably won't really be all that noticeable, but there's a couple of significant ones in here. So the fixed case where action points would not regenerate while taking radiation damage. I think there's probably more cases than that where it gets stuck, but still, there's one issue fixed there, so your action points should come back as planned a little more frequently. Poison damage from toxic blood mutated enemies will now be considerably weaker. And they've changed damage for a few things. Lesser Devils doing more, alien invaders are weakened, which is good, they were a little disproportionately powerful. And it got a few little balancing changes for floaters there, which is not particularly exciting. Laser weapons, this is a bit more interesting. They've adjusted the damage for the following beta and gamma laser mods. So these were adjusted in the last patch, and apparently went too far because this is, so it says here, a bit of a nerf. So beta and gamma mods for laser guns, ultrasight laser guns, Gatling lasers, ultrasight Gatling lasers, and plasma guns will be getting a little bit of a dip in their damage output. They're still being evaluated for overall balance. I felt these particular mods went a little further in their buffs than intended. So yeah. As for how much of a nerf this is, doesn't actually say, but there is a little one there. Which, if you've jumped into the laser weapons, because they are kind of fun, you will probably want to know about, I guess. So we have a whole bunch of creature rebalancing here that is generally intended to make mid-level creatures, so 35 to 75, a bit more manageable, whereas higher level creatures should be tougher, hopefully making things a little bit more, well, balanced in the way you'd want to see them, you know? A bit more challenge for those at the end game, a bit less challenge for those who are less well geared up, which at 35 to 75 you're definitely still working on that, so that seems fair enough. It's an extended list here, so if you want to pause it and take a look and see specifically, there are a couple of interesting specific ones, but I think we'll be coming back to those in a minute, so yeah, there's an opportunity to have a look if you want. We have a few quest fixes here that basically adjust points where progress gets blocked, so definitely happy to have that. Load bearing, that's an issue I've run into a couple of times, definitely happy to see that one in particular. And I'm not sure what's going on here, but this is a fun one on the events list. Clowns that were spawning near Foundation, Outpost, stroke eviction notice have been returned to the circus. Honk honk. I don't know what was going on there, but okay. Whatever that weirdness is, it's been laid to rest, hopefully. So here we have a whole bunch of magazine changes, which I'm probably not really the right person to comment on too much, because I don't really use them, but if you do tend to use them quite a lot, there are a number of detailed changes here to quite a substantial list of magazines, so you may want to have a little thumb through this yourself. I'll link the patch notes down below as always, by the way. But yeah, if you want to pause and have a look here, there's an opportunity too. For Milepost Zero, we have a stack of fixes, but most of these are like voice lines or furniture and object issues. They're not particularly exciting. They're just little sort of polishing bits and pieces. Like mismatched dialogue and dialogue not playing here and there and that sort of thing. So should make your experience inside the Milepost Zero location a lot more smooth. But as to what's going on, not massively game-changing really. The VU-63 laser carbine being fixed, so the explosive legendary visual effects should work properly, is probably a mixed blessing if ever I saw one, I think, but nonetheless, it is there. I know that's proved to be one of the more popular points of the Milepost Zero update, which is probably not saying a vast amount, but still, having that work as intended is probably a good thing, especially as it's the thing people like the most. Couple of quest fixes down here. Again, not massively exciting ones. A couple of useful details. So if any of these spring out to you, trade secrets, refuge daily quests, overseas mission, custodial compulsions, duty calls, and Beckett, then you might want to have a little look at those. But these are very specific situation things. There's a couple of weapon fixes here, some of which stand out as being particularly interesting and exciting. So top of the list, Ticket to Revenge has its intended legendary mods again, Furious, Rapid and Lightweight. So if you're interested in that particular railway rifle, I think it was, then that should be functioning as intended. So you might want to have a gander at that after the update just to make sure everything is as you expect and working the way you want it to. So that's getting changed. The V63 Zweihander now benefits from Science perk card family. So those Science perk cards have been updated a while ago now to add extra damage to energy weapons. The Zweihander is now on the list of energy weapons that will be updated by it, which is really cool. So made that whole weapon a few percentage points more viable. Here's a really great one, especially at Eviction Notice. Enemy minigun audio should no longer continue playing after death. This one has popped up over and over again throughout the life of 76, and poor dev team must be feeling like they're playing whack-a-mole with this darn problem, but hopefully it will be fixed going forward, and that'll put it to rest, he says with his fingers very, very crossed. And last but not least, we've got a bunch of miscellaneous fixes, some of which are quite fun here, and if you want to have a thumb through in more detail, go ahead. Beckett now appropriately says romantic flirty dialogue lines to players who've romanced him. Fun. Coloured mirror balls should work properly, emit the appropriate light, which is nice if you're going to use those in your camp. Here's an interesting one. The Agua. On occasion, after it retreats into its shell, it would still be vulnerable to damage. That's not supposed to be the case. That has now been fixed, so once the thing hunkers down, it will no longer be damaged, and you'll have to wait for it to pop out again before you can fight again. So, yeah, that's going to slow down progress in situations where the Agua is the enemy. There's a couple of events and things like that. And yeah, I know people have taken advantage of that bug in the past because I've seen it on a number of occasions. But that's one definitely to be aware of. It's not a life-changing thing, but it does slow down the pace against the Agua a little bit. A couple of interesting ones just to round out. 3 daily rerollers should now reset at the same time as the challenge instead of an hour later during daylight savings. Interesting that wasn't updating. Can't say I noticed, but keep an eye on that one. It's listed as a speculative fix, so I'm guessing they're not 100% confident it's always going to work. So maybe keep an eye on that one and give them a bit of feedback if it's not working. I'm sure they'd like to know. The shadow person haunting the cliffs near Lake Eloise, I guess? I don't know how to say that, has been banished. Kind of wish I'd seen that. It sounds interesting, but it is as it is. And the Thrasher backpack, if you're running around with that hideous thing, has been fixed so that it should no longer be static, and the various bits that flap around should now flap around. So there we go, a whole bunch of changes and fixes and updates for the mid-season pack. It's a decent bunch of stuff here, it's not too bad, as well as a whole bunch of new events kicking off this week. So lots to look at and lots to jump into and get stuck into in 76 at the moment, as well as an upcoming look forward at what's coming to the game in the next little while, because yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff on the horizon, so interesting to dive into that. So, hope you folks found that useful and informative. If you did, you know where all the buttons are down below the video. I very much appreciate you taking the time to check those out. Social media links in description, including Blue Sky, which I have just joined, so if you want to head over there and take a gander. Channel memberships down there as well, if you want to support the channel that way. Live streams hopefully resuming soon. I'm currently having a few issues, so I'll get back to that just as soon as I possibly can. But for now, we're going to have to hold off a little bit longer. But I've got my fingers crossed to be able to get that going again soon. Yeah. On that note, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your continued support, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.